gentlemen, don't be afraid, because tonight we've got the king, the sexiest man alive, the CCW heavyweight champion, the one, the only, Eddie Valentine, here on the Dropping Down from the Rafters podcast. Eddie Valentine, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing just fine, Tony. Do not be afraid to feast your eyes on the 50-inch chest of the sexiest man alive. How you doing tonight, Tony?
I'm doing great, Eddie. Man, the last time I got to see you in action was the first Saturday of October, which is the very first bash at the Brew at the new home after you guys left the old one. And on that night, you were wrestling Joe Garcia in a kendo stick on a pole match. And I feel like I don't feel like it. I know since that time, a lot has gone on in CCW.
Oh, yes. Yes. We're well past that at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I talked to Nelio last year and I was telling him about, some of my favorite things at CCW, it was the Night Riders. Like, I love the Night Riders as a tag team. So I definitely had a little bit of a broken heart when you guys went your own way. What was the kind of the reason for, the Night Riders split in the first place?
I blame Joe Garcia for that tag team title loss. And at the time I was just enraged with him. I won't call it tough love because it was much love involved in that fight. I think we just needed to fight.
Okay.
Get to fight it out, and I hit him first.
Cherry Bomb says, yes, the sexiest man alive. Yes, Eddie Valentine is here. Well, Eddie, actually on that very night, Meadow defeated QT Marshall to become the new CCW champion as well, too. And since that time, you are now the reigning and defending sexiest, the king, heavyweight champion.
The king champion, El Rey Campeon.
So you won the King of the Territory match to go on to defeat Meadow cleanly, as I saw, right?
Yes, of course.
And then, now it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on in CCW that you're preparing for this week as well, too, because Game of War is coming up very soon. And for those that don't know, Joe Garcia and you have patched things up. And you're good to go. And the King's Court is ready to head into probably one of the most dangerous matches in CCW history.
Well, we're the most dangerous faction in CCW history.
Okay.
Bar none. Like King's Court, Alex Chamberlain, CCW's most dangerous man, professional wrestling's most dangerous man. I know other people have been calling themselves that, but Alex Chamberlain, the Black Knight, is professional wrestling's most dangerous man. You got El Bailarín de la Muerte, Joe Garcia, and you got the Crown Prince, Marvin Cruz.
Okay.
So that's the King's Court. We run things in CCW, not anybody else, not Cha-Cha, not Meadow, not Maximus, not anybody else that wants to be pretenders to the throne. There's one king, there's one champion, there's one King's Court, and we run the show. So at Game of War, that's what we're going to prove.
Okay, and I'm going to bring up the flyer for this week because this is the advantage, the night where the team gets the advantage, and we all know that advantage plays a huge part in Game of War.
Yeah, we're going to get that advantage too. We're going to have the advantage going into Game of War, and then we're going to win Game of War. All right? Once we're there, then we've shown everybody. Ain't nobody can stand against the King's Court. And we're going to run this promotion. We're going to run CCW. We're going to run the last territory forever. This reign is going to last forever. The dynasty I leave behind is going to shape the future of CCW for all time.
Okay, before I get to that next question, Mosh Pit Messiah is here. And he says, my king and Tony. So obviously he is definitely talking about you, Eddie Valentine, and not myself. So it's okay.
My most loyal subjects.
Yes. The king never dies. Absolutely. I'm like, I know right away. I'm like, I'm not worthy to be the king, especially when Eddie Valentine is in the house. That's for sure. Well, let me ask you about Game of War because, as somebody like myself, I grew up watching the war games and I've been to many Game of Wars at CCW. What is the preparation for your team going into this?
Well, I mean, myself, Alex Chamberlain, Marvin Cruz, Joe Garcia, we train constantly. There's no special preparations for big matches. We are in constant training camp, fight mode. We often post videos of our training sessions. I got Marvin Cruz in a mentorship program with Joe Garcia right now. You can see what they're doing together, how he's getting Marvin Cruz up to speed. This isn't something that we have to take a special preparation for. We're in constant fight mode and constant training mode.
Okay, and Paula Rodriguez gives the big guns, which obviously she's talking about you. No, nobody is going to comment on me tonight. It's going to be all about Eddie Valentine. The guns, the sexiest man alive, the king. It's all about Eddie Valentine.
Right. Everybody appreciates a good gun show.
They do, absolutely. But let me ask you about the night that I remember there was one night at CCW, and I believe it was the night that you turned on Joe, or you showed Joe some tough love, and he came out of the crowd one night, and then I called it Fly Eddie Fly, when you literally ran across the ring, jumped over the top rope, out and kind of splashed him and everybody out there in the crowd that night. So what goes through your head when you're doing something like that, Eddie?
Oh, I don't think about it.
You can't, right?
No, I don't think about it at all. I just do it. I go all the way in for a penny and for a pound, and that's how I wrestle.
All right. I know when I was there last year and up into the fall, you had, should I call him a super fan? He was cosplaying. I believe he may still be cosplaying as you out there in the stand every show.
The sexiest fans alive.
Yes, the sexiest fans alive. Yes.
Yes, that's my kingdom grows. The number of my loyal subjects and my fans grow every day. The fans of the King's Court, because we put the lie to the guys like Meadow, Pero Estupido, Domino Estupido, Cha-Cha, Pedazo de Mierda. All of them, we put the lie to them.
I was going to say, because, a lot of times it's CCW, they're cheering for the good guys and, they got the hats on and they got the Domino fans. But to kind of look out in the crowd and see yellow jackets and people swirling their hips, just wanting to get the notarization of the king. How does that make you feel?
Well, I don't really take it into account. I do what I do. The king does what he does when he wants to do it. I don't really take anybody else's the fans' opinions into account on what I decide to do. I do what I decide to do. They decide that they want to follow along with that. That's on them.
Okay, fair enough. Now, Eddie, we're here in 2025, and you've been doing this for a while now. So for anybody that doesn't know, when did your professional wrestling journey begin?
It was 1997. Yeah, 97. Long time ago.
Okay, so I'm going to do the math. 28 years ago, your professional wrestling career started.
That's why I started training. Yeah, it was the Wild Samoan School, and at the time it was in Hazleton, PA. And my college roommate, a wrestler by the name of Ox Hogg, at the time convinced me to go for a tryout. So the first day I went for a tryout, and it was a rough tryout. And I was that day I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
Okay, so obviously, I think things have changed drastically in how professional wrestling training is from 1997 to here in 2025. What are some of like maybe the biggest differences, and what are maybe some things that maybe you may miss about maybe the old school of training that maybe isn't practiced here in 2025?
Oh, I wouldn't say it has changed too much.
No, okay.
My training style has like the fundamentals don't change. Fundamentals stay the same. I work at the CCW school under the head coach there, Gangrel, Dave. He's the head coach, and I'm down there probably at least 2 to 4 nights a week, like helping coach the kids down there. And our fundamentals are the same. Our styles are a little bit different, and Dave's had more experience with me around the globe and everything, and he's picked up a lot of stuff that I've been learning from him. But as far as the fundamentals, they're still the same. Like it's not that different.
Okay. Mosh Pit Messiah says 1997 was yesterday, right, guys? I said, yeah. Sting was just dropping down from the rafters, literally. It's scary, isn't it, Eddie, when we think about 1997, how long ago that was?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I try not to think about it. I will say it was a good almost 100 pounds ago.
Okay. Probably for both of us.
All when I started, there was a guy I had to have a conversation with Pops about whether or not he was even after the tryout, whether or not I would even be if I was big enough to train. I remember having that conversation, but fortunately, he accepted me.
Okay, so what were some of the most challenging things, I mean, that you had to overcome to get where you are here present day?
Well, I would say there was a period of time there. I was married for a long time. I was with somebody for a long time, and I had there's a more personal things in our personal lives, like medical issues and everything. For like about 10 years there, I was a caretaker, so there was like traveling was out of the question. Anything like that. It was very local for about 10 years. So that was extremely challenging. But as far as being in the ring and working for places and being able to get ahead, I haven't had too many problems with that. So it was always more on the personal end.
Okay.
I've always found.
Okay. Now I've seen you at the CCW school, and I know, like you said, that you assist in the training and stuff like that there. When somebody comes in to the facility, what kind of I don't know, advice do you give them to start with?
Well, if you're not in the gym and you haven't done any kind of sports, or I mean, I like preferably I like to see like people with like at least some sort of like sports background, or at least have played a sport, have worked underneath a coach. Coachability is a big one. If they're in shape when they come in, like, are they in the gym? Are they working out? Or are they starting from zero, which is a much higher hill to climb? If you are starting at zero, you have no sports background, athletic background, you don't lift weights, you don't go to the gym, and you come in and start at zero, you're going to have a higher hill to climb. So I like to see like some kind of combat or sports combat experience. Like just I think it's a good experience to have somebody like go at you, like freestyle wrestling, MMA, boxing, something like that. I like to see people that like I know have been like hit in the face for real.
Okay.
like with real and like intent, like to fucking 100%, nothing holding them back, anything like that. I don't encourage people to get into street fights, but I like to know if somebody's been in a real street fight. So you have that, like those people understand that intensity, and what it feels like to get hit or be hit. I came up, I did football all throughout school growing up, and freestyle wrestling. So when I found both of those were great preparation for what I was about to do in professional wrestling.
Was it hard for you to make the transition from freestyle to professional wrestling?
No,
not
at all. Like I like the hardest part I had, like picking up, at least initially, was the showmanship part of it.
Which by right now you have no problem with that whatsoever, Eddie.
Favorite part.
Is it something that just clicks for you one day? Because when I, was watching CCW a couple of years ago, you're Eddie Valentine, then like all of a sudden you transition into the sexiest man alive. And I felt like from there, like, man, this part of your career has really just like skyrocketed through the roof. Was it just something that just it kind of just clicked with the fans like right away and just worked?
Yeah, I mean, music has a lot to do with it. I've come up with a lot of my ideas just listening to different kind of like Sexiest Man Alive was born out of I Touch Myself by the Divinals.
Okay.
On my gym one night, all this, like, was just one listening to that song. Like I heard it and I got the idea, and within a few hours at the gym, I was like Sexiest Man Alive was born. So I go out. I love this. I love being a professional wrestler. And when I go through the curtain, I let my love for my work and what I do shine through. And I think people react to that.
I was going to say, I feel like, as a wrestling fan my entire life, I've seen so many things that do work for people. I see so many things that kind of don't work for people. So, I mean, and when you came out that first time, it was just like, this is the Eddie Valentine that we have been waiting for to see. And man, it's been such a blast just to see, like, you could just tell, like, when somebody is believing in it and not only just enjoying it and loving it. And yeah, you were just riding this like sky high.
Well, when I first came to CCW, was it 3.5 years ago now when I started wrestling for Coastal Championship Wrestling. I wasn't being the sexiest man alive. I came out, it was a breakout. I teamed with Andy English, the bus, right? Yeah, my first match. I was teamed with Andy English as a bus, and I just came out as Eddie Valentine, like stripped down version. It was probably much closer to what I was doing when I was in Combat Zone Wrestling. And I have like just the Ribera jacket and just basic old school wrestler. Nothing fancy. Just going out there, and that got over with the fans and everything. But it was only about a year in when I just was like, I'm just gonna unleash. So, and here we are.
Yeah, and you mentioned like the combat wrestling. I got to ask you about the strikes. When you get somebody in the corner and you just like the fists are knuckled up and you're just like unleashing them. Is that where that came from? Because it looks like absolutely terrifying the way that you're putting the smackdown on your opponent in the corner.
Well, I'll tell you the biggest reason why. I stopped wanting to have to pick people up and jump off of the ropes.
Okay.
People. So I went with I went more into striking. It's effective for me and it's easier on my body.
Right.
Like I don't have to worry about twisting my back or, like busting a knee, jumping off of something. Like I was just like, man, I'm just going to put them in the corner. I'm going to pound them. I'm just going to use my fists, palm strikes, forearms, like chops, kicks. Like I'm going to emphasize that. Like, and really, my offense is more focused on that now.
Right, and it definitely works for you. So there's sometimes less is more with some people, and you can get the job done just knocking them out in the corner. So it definitely works for you.
Yep, that's how I look at it.
Now I want to circle back to the training part. We've seen people come and go, and you don't have to mention any names or anything like that. But do you just know when this isn't meant for somebody?
No. That's a personal decision.
Yeah,
I think wrestling has a place for just about anybody at any skill level if they're willing to come in and work at it. Like I don't think I ever look at anybody and just go like no, there's nothing that they can do in wrestling. I don't believe that.
okay.
I think there's something on some level, maybe not as a wrestler, but there's something for just about anybody in wrestling that like if you love professional wrestling business and you want to work on it and just about any level, like there's something that you can do.
Okay. And on the flip side of that, who has been maybe your biggest surprise that come out of the school that is just like really like hit the ground running and made a big impact in CCW?
Honestly, I gotta say it's Marvin Cruz.
Okay.
Marvin Cruz, we were doing well after when Joe and I were fighting. I decided to do like a Knight Rider talent search.
Right. Okay. Yes.
So I was gonna start. I figured it would take like I was like, this will take a while. This will probably take like a few weeks or something like that. And the first night, like Marvin Cruz nailed it. Like he just knocked it out of the park. So that lasted like it was like America Got Knight Riders. That lasted all of one night because Marvin Cruz came out and just blew everybody away. I was like, you know what, this kid got it. He got it.
You know what? He wanted to be part of the King's Court. He brought his A++ game the first night and made it happen.
Hey, he always does. He's a talker. Marvin Cruz can talk, and his wrestling's getting better. He's got, like I said, like he's working with Joe Garcia now, and Joe Garcia is taking that really seriously. And Joe Garcia is like his moment is now. Like it's his time to shine now, and like he's doing a great job with Marvin getting him up to speed too. So as a watch out for what Joe Garcia's got planned.
Yeah, Joe Garcia, definitely. I mean, I remember when he first started too, and then joined up with you, and I felt like that was his, elevation to like main event status and, with the tag team with you guys. And Joe has just been an incredible talent over there in CCW. And, it really did break my heart when you guys, I have such investment in you guys, all the CCW guys, like, and when something splits, man, it's rough for us fans, but it's always so rewarding in the end, especially when like everything can come full circle and you guys can all come back together and head into Game of War and do stuff. And I think that's definitely one of the strongest things about, well, CCW has lots of strong things, but like the storytelling in CCW is almost unmatched in professional wrestling, I think.
Well, Joe Garcia and I we beat the hell out of each other and we buried the hatchet. No, I'm not gonna spoil nothing. You ain't gonna wait. You see what Joe Garcia's got planned. I know what he's got planned. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Fair enough. Actually,
and other than watch out.
Okay. Mosh pit.
The Knight Riders are back together. Joe saw the vision. He understood the plan. Like he knows what it takes to be a winner. So, you know, we said, like, look, we've beaten each other from pillar to post.
It's like what good
I have
brothers do.
respect in the world for Joe Garcia. He beat my ass a couple times, man. Like,
He did.
no joke. He's no.
Yeah, I was gonna say Mosh Pit says I was there with Tony getting sad. Or when I got sad, he can confirm that. Yes. CCW, man, it's just again, like I was telling you before we jumped on the air. The two things I miss about leaving South Florida is CCW and Flanagan's, and CCW is still killing it down there. And I mean, even this week, I believe it is. You got Vinny Pacifico next Friday. I'm sorry, next Friday, June 13th. Vinny Pacifico is coming in from the north to take on the King in Kissimmee.
Vinny Pacifico, yeah, the next challenger. My goal right now, you know, I don't want to, like, Vinny Pacifico is going to come in with his energy drinks. It's the energy drinks.
Yeah.
So particularly, you know, I might file a complaint. I'm not sure how legal that is.
Okay.
You know, he's like bringing in liquid crack while he's like wrestling. Like it's some sort of spinach. Like I don't know. I might file a complaint about that. I might bar that. I might issue a royal edict about energy drinks at ringside.
Okay. Well, you said Vinny Pacifico has. Oh, go ahead.
Bring it up. I've been thinking about Vinny Pacifico for a minute. So yeah, I think that might be the way to go.
Okay. Well, you said Vinny Pacifico, it's like his spinach. What is your spinach, King?
Nicotine. Oh, I was very young. I was 19. I had one of the older wrestlers that like to rib me, like convinced me to say, you should smoke a cigarette on your way to the ring. And I did it. It was the worst idea ever. I smoked a cigarette. I had to cut a promo. I was getting interviewed, and then I had to go in and wrestle, and it was the worst experience of my life. Just terrible.
So it's kind of become the post-match ritual, not the pre-match ritual then.
Oh, no, pre-match, just like within like a hour or two.
Okay, right. I was gonna say, yeah, because the spinach.
I'll try and take it easy, you know. We all got our vices.
We do. Nobody's judging, Eddie. Nobody's judging. Wait, hey, it's led you to
how dare you if you would.
Right, exactly. Like enough of that. We don't need any of that. No, for sure. And it's like you got to get your spinach on. It's working for you. And like you said, what works for somebody doesn't work for anybody else, but you know yourself, and it definitely works for you. You are the champion after all.
That's right.
Well, CCW, again, I know it has a Bash at the Brew this weekend to get the advantage match. So obviously the King's Court is going to get that advantage going into a Game of War in Port St. Lucie. Did I see you're coming to Nashville as well too, Eddie?
I don't think.
No?
I mean, you know, I was thinking of like, because I should. So I'm champion now. And I feel as though I should tour all of my territory. Like I went up to Tampa and where I wrestled Chris Farrow there. So I've been to Nashville. I think I should go back, but Nashville's kind of like the backwater of my kingdom. It's not a real city like Miami.
Okay.
You know, but I hear a lot of people talking trash up there, saying, you know, so I was thinking about going up there and establishing some royal order.
Okay.
Maybe
I know.
Court.
Okay, right. I mean, I think it's time to expand the kingdom, right? I mean, CCW is expanding the territory, and Eddie Valentine expanding the kingdom. I know there's a bunch of guys out of like the Atlanta area where I'm at now that go and wrestle over there. So there's definitely a lot of competition, I think, that could be had up there. Some fresh new matches for the King.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not afraid of any challenge. My priority right now is to shatter every CCW championship record. So amount of time held, the amount of successful defenses, that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
Bring them on.
Do you know offhand who was the longest reigning CCW heavyweight champion?
Man, you're gonna get me stuck. Is it Ariel?
Okay. He had it for a while. Yeah, right?
Man, I'm gonna have to double check. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Because we want to shatter those records. So, I mean, you just won the title a few months ago. So Levy did have it for quite some time. And
Yeah,
so,
I know I'm not close right now. So
right.
I'm
Yeah.
like talking about it. I don't have the exact date, but it's early.
Right. It's long-term goals. Long-term goals.
I'll check when I get to. I know I'm getting closer.
Right. Yeah. We still got. There's at least a year on there for that. Definitely, I think.
Yeah.
What would you say, Eddie, has been the biggest lesson that you've learned about yourself in your pro wrestling journey?
Those are such easy questions that you asked the King. The thing I learned the most about myself, I guess, is to be myself. Like, but I try to be genuine with everybody. Whether I'm in the back or I'm out through the curtain, you're getting me. So I tell my kids this too. I don't say nothing to anybody I won't say to your face. So what you see is what you get. So that's been working for me. Yeah, probably that. I don't know. That's give me a question I could write a book about.
Right. Well, I'll give you one more then. I'll give you one more. And I've been like closing the stuff with this about weird and bizarre things. What would you say is the most bizarro thing that's ever happened to you in the ring or with a fan interaction or anything like that?
The most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me in the ring. I mean, it's wrestling. It's all weird.
Right.
I could tell you about a time where just a series of events that just went wrong. It's actually with Joe Garcia.
Okay.
Pops into my head of I pride myself on not making big mistakes or make a mistake. I try to keep it as small mistake as possible, the kind of mistake that you would never notice. So I very rarely make big mistakes. And there was just a match that Joe and I had in Homestead. I can't even remember who we were wrestling. It escapes me at the time. But I went to blind tag Joe. And I cheated a little bit. It was the maneuver where I blind tag Joe and he drops down and I leapfrog and drop down and everything. And I'm sure you've seen it.
Right.
And I kind of cheated to move over there a little bit so I get in there a little bit quicker because that's the kind of thing I do now. And he hit the rope so hard it knocked me off of the ring apron. So I luckily I landed on the floor. I landed on my feet and I'm watching him. I'm like, man, I can split second. I'm like, I can still make it. I can slide in the ring and hit the leapfrog and we'll get this guy. So I went to slide into the ring and the ring apron had come down and there was a hook. One of the hooks going down the canvas hooked my knee pad. So I baseball slide into the ring. I got my knee pad hooked, and I'm stuck like a fish. I don't even know what they're doing anymore. I was like, I hope Joe got him because I'm stuck here for trying to unhook myself from the side of the ring. And eventually I got myself unhooked and everything, and we were able to finish the match. But that was just like something that always sticks in my mind of just like a series of unfortunate events. like just catastrophes that I almost fix, and then they end up like just hooked on the side of the ring like a fish.
You were just out there floundering. I get it, Eddie. I get it. Yes. That's always the weirdest shit. It's like
I couldn't believe it. I was in the ring like trying to get. I was like, I can't believe this right now. I can't believe this is happening. It's like the kind of things my nightmares are made out of.
Yeah, 100%. You couldn't even like write that out. Like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna get hooked by the apron and like left out there waddling like a fish outside. Like it would never happen.
Yeah, that could never possibly happen, and it does.
It does. Only to Eddie Valentine too. Okay, can I do a couple rapid fire questions with you just to get to know you a little bit better?
All right, let's try it out.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
Last of the Mohicans.
Okay. Your maybe favorite band or album of all time?
Wait, hold up. We gotta stop. I gotta plug. I gotta show Friendship. I just saw Friendship yesterday. Tim Robbins with Paul Rudd. Have you heard of it?
I have not. No.
It's only in select theaters right now, but everybody should go and see Friendship. It's hilarious. And if you're a Tim Robinson fan, it's a great movie. It's very funny. Okay. All right. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Plug Friendship. Okay. So Last of the Mohicans on there. Okay. Well, let me ask you what makes the Last of the Mohicans like your go-to?
I don't know. It's a beautifully shot movie. I don't know. Like I have a million favorite movies.
Okay.
But if anybody ever asks me a question, I just throw that one out there. I could go. We could have 5 hours of just talk about movies with me. I will talk about movies with you all night long. My favorites, like create lists for you and everything. But that will never end. This podcast will never end. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna say Last of the Mohicans. Unless you want to get into a real deep dive conversation about all my favorite movies.
That could be for a second one, right?
Like movies, music, and video games. Like I'll spend hours talking to you about that. You want to do that sometime?
Yes, let's do that because I want to branch out and do more theme shows again. So maybe we can come up with some ideas right here. So let's talk about the favorite album or band of yours.
Man, I don't really have like a favorite. I listen to so much difference. I will listen to everything, like almost every kind of music. All right, you know what? The crown's coming off.
Okay.
Oh my god! I probably got like an imprint there.
Probably. I get one with my hat, like when I show up for shows, because I go normal, and then like when I have to get ready, then I take everything off and get ready, and I have like the red streak there now.
Oh, I got an exceptionally large noggin, so the crown sits a little tight on the brow. I listen to everything. I was brought up like I played alto saxophone for 10 years, like when I was a kid. So my parents were very like we didn't have a lot of money. We were poor, but they were like, we're gonna have like some like I got a lot of education in culture, the arts. Honestly, if I wasn't doing this, I probably would have went to art school or something like writing, something like that. Like that was kind of where I was going with college until I went for my wrestling tryout and everything. But I'll listen to classical, like just about any decade of music. There's something I'll listen to from there, So okay, I don't really have a favorite band or a favorite type of music. Like I listen, like what I will do is if I find a song, I'll listen to it until I'm sick of it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you about the art stuff then, Eddie, because my wife is she's into like I love the pro wrestling. Hers is art. So what art gets you excited? What type of art gets you excited, or what art do you specialize in? Maybe.
Oh, I haven't done art since I was probably since school. But man, I want to be a comic book artist. Like me and my brothers, and uh, we were comic book collectors, like late '80s, late '80s and '90s, like early '90s. So I always want to be the uh, like a comic book artist. That was my favorite kind of art. But I mean like art classes throughout school, like painting. I always enjoyed painting and drawing. You know.
You know what, Eddie? I don't think it's too late to live out that dream. I think we should do a CCW comic book, and you should draw it.
I want to just have AI do it now.
No. We don't need AI, Eddie. We want your artistic expression.
Artistic expression.
We don't want AI. No, none of that crap. We want your vision, Eddie.
I've drawn anything in a minute. We have to see.
See,
I don't know, maybe I'll break out the pencil and paper and see how I.
Yes. No AI. See, even Cherry Bomb says art by the king. We want art by the king, Eddie.
We'll see what it looks like. I'll see what it looks like in private first before I publish anything.
There's plenty of characters no AI. No, we want your vision. Mosh Pit Messiah, he's a big Street Fighter guy. I'm a big Street Fighter guy. What gets you excited in the video game world, Eddie?
Right now, I just beat Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, which has been driving me nuts because I was having a real hard time beating that game. Call of Duty Black Ops, I'm playing. The Thing remastered, I'm playing that right now. RoboCop.
Oh, is that one out? I wanted to play that one. Oh yeah, it came out a while ago. There's a Terminator game I think that's coming out soon.
Yeah, Battlefront 2. I started playing again. I mean, recently, like some favorites: Baldur's Gate 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Pathfinder Kingmaker and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous are favorites of mine. Rogue Trader was a lot of fun. I like Owlcat Game Studios. They're really good. Man, I don't play much fighting games anymore.
No.
I don't play much. I'll do first-person shooters because it keeps my hand-eye coordination really good. I like them. Like I feel as though I'm probably competing with a lot of kids. So as long as I'm holding up okay there. Like,
it's not probably, Eddie. We are competing against a lot of kids.
Like as long as my hand-eye coordination, as long as I can hit that number one spot every once in a while, I'm like, okay, I'm not like too old to play video games yet competitively.
No. Well, okay, so me and you, we're probably around the same age, Eddie. So we grew up in a time where like video games, you could not beat them, right? Was there any game that just like left you at the frustration that you couldn't beat and wanted to like smash that controller?
Oh man, the Soul Reaver games. I could never beat the Soul Reaver games. Like I played Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, the first one, Blood Omen 2, and but the Soul Reaver games, for some reason, the puzzles will get me, and those ones I just gave up out of frustration. I was like, I cannot handle these Soul Reaver games. They're kicking my ass and everything. But yeah, I came up through I started with Atari 2600. Like these are all like Christmas presents, usually like at least minimum of 2 years after the console came out. And that was like the big Christmas present for us kids. Like we all had to share. So it was like Atari 2600, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, then went to PlayStation. I've had all the PlayStations, and I got a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox.
Right.
Xbox One. So that's all my entire history of and PC gaming. So there's my console lineage right there.
Yeah, we run about the same family tree there of consoles. Mine, the one that sticks to me was that damn like first Ninja Turtles game that came out on Nintendo. Like all the other ones you could beat, like that first one, like still like just to this day, like burns my soul. I bought the collection that came out like a year or two ago, and I still never booted that one up just because of my fear of failing.
Well, those games, especially like the Nintendo games before there was any saves, like you just had to beat the game.
Yes.
Like you did. First of all, limited video game time. Like my household had a limited. You had a set amount of time to play video games that you had to share with your brothers. So like you go so there's a small window, and you had to be perfect to like beat the game. So it could get like frustrating at times. I still remember like everybody's like knows what survival horror is now. I remember when Resident Evil first came out.
Yeah.
And me and my brothers would play that game in the dark and take turns like playing, and then like it would like really scare the hell out of you. And it was like nothing compared to what's out there now. But I still remember that feeling of playing through Resident Evil for the first time with my brothers with the lights out and just terrified.
Yeah, I did that with Alan Wake, and that was the one that got me. Was like I shut the lights off. I would play one chapter, like whenever I had time to play, just shut the lights off and like silence and like play that game in the dark. And that one was like the freak out game for me for sure.
Yeah.
Moshpit says you're never too old for esports. That's right. You're never too old for video games as well too. Period.
What was your favorite wrestling game?
The WCW game, on Nintendo, where it started off with World Championship Wrestling. I mean, it's right there.
I have to say, but like WWE Superstars, the arcade box.
Okay.
My favorite of all time. If we're talking console, like if we're talking early console, Tecmo Pro Wrestling.
Oh, that's a good one. That's underrated. Yes.
Yeah, I love Tecmo Pro Wrestling. And Saturday Night Slam Masters was a lot of fun.
That game is fire. Yes, from Capcom, because it had the Street Fighter controls, but in a wrestling game. Yeah,
that game. Oh God, I played the hell out of that game.
Yeah, because there are the classics like No Mercy and WCW NWO Revenge from the 64 that are like the staples. And I think I actually did a countdown with DMC and Tyler Peters, and I put WCW, No Mercy in my number one spot. But man, I still have a love for that very first like World Championship Wrestling game, and I could only beat the final boss using Mike Rotundo because he had this like flying knee drop because the guy was like Andre the Giant. He would just knock you down no matter who you were. So you had to use like a cheat in order to beat him to win the title. Only Mike Rotundo was the only character I could use in the game to beat him. Not Sting, not Flair, not the Road Warriors. It was Mike Rotundo with a move that I never saw him use, some jumping knee drop, but it worked.
Oh man.
But yeah, like Tecmo, because I used to play Tecmo Super Bowl with my dad. So we were, Tecmo Super Bowl was the game. We would play season after season. He would switch from AFC to NFC. We play seasons of playing the Super Bowl. And then Tecmo came out, and it was a strategic type wrestling game. It just wasn't like kick and punch. You had to like lift weights and like do stuff in order to get your character stronger. It was like a simulation game almost.
Yes, Tecmo was like way superior to the like original like Nintendo wrestling game and everything with like Starman and everything. Like I was, you got Tecmo. It's like, wow, I can't even believe that. Looking back at it, like what they accomplished with that game, with what they had to work with, was amazing.
Yeah, because it had commentators. It didn't have voice commentator, but it had a guy talking like down at the bottom as well too. Like it had everything. It was like an RPG wrestling game all in one.
Okay. But far superior to those Activision games.
Whew.
Oh, they're so bad.
They're so bad. And of course we all got them because Hogan was on the cover, and it's just kick punch, kick punch, kick punch, kick punch. It's like it had nothing to it. You couldn't do any special moves or anything really, other than a random cartwheel.
I would get any wrestling game that had Kurt Hennig in it.
Okay.
Me and my brother's favorite wrestler growing up was Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. So like any game that he was in, I'm gonna buy that game. I'm gonna like work for my money and Like that's one I'm gonna go buy.
Yeah, it's how it was with Sting. It was like, okay, anything with Sting in it, I'm buying. Anything with Kurt Hennig, you're buying. Well, let me transition to the Kurt Hennig thing to you, and because I'm again growing up in that time period, the vignettes were so superior to like everything. They built a character with Razor Ramon, Ted DiBiase, Mr. Perfect. What would be your favorite Mr. Perfect vignette, or the one that comes to your mind?
They were all great. They were all good. Like everything was just, it was. Anyway, to what you were saying with the vignettes, like they were so great because such great introductions to the guy. I grew up in Pennsylvania, so everything was like my earliest memories of wrestling was WWF. Like that's until I'd say about 12, 13. We didn't get cable until I was 13 years old. So I didn't discover WCW until I was like 13. That's also the time I started going to independent wrestling shows. Like my dad would take me and my brothers to independent wrestling shows. And also when I discovered the magazines like Pro Wrestling Illustrated and all, it's like I got all the Wrestler, all those magazines, every one. I used to buy all of those, everything. And that introduced me to like a whole world of wrestling outside of WWF. But my early childhood was, Savage, Hogan, Boss Man, Sherry Martel, Kurt Hennig, Ric Flair, Ultimate Warrior, Rick Rude, Rick Martel, Jake Roberts. That was who I grew up with when I was a kid watching.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably my favorite Mr. Perfect is like the one where he's playing football and he just throws it like 100 yards down the field. And then they cut to him running down and he catches it. I mean, he had the basketball ones too, where he was throwing it over his head and making every shot, and just classic.
The football one's like the most like cartoonish of the.
It is, but it stands out to me.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, because it's the most absurd, but it is great.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, Eddie, again, we could go down this rabbit hole, I think, for like 20 hours just talking about.
Yeah. I guess we should wrap it up. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Team one. I'll come on for video games or movies or whatever.
Hell yeah. We definitely got to do it for sure. So you want to give us, I know we mentioned a couple of things that you have going on. You got Vinny Pacifico on the 13th, and you got the big CCW Bash at the Brew this week. Is there anything else we should know? And where can people follow you at, Eddie?
They can find me on Facebook, Eddie Valentine, and Eddie Valentine IG on Instagram. Bash at the Brew this week at the Tank. That's for Advantage Game of War. That's me, Alex Chamberlain, Stein Rogers, and
Jackal.
Right? Stevens. Yes. Yep. So you can watch us beat the hell out of Domino and Cha-Cha and Meadow and Maximus there.
There you go.
You're going to see it beaten. I got Kissimmee, Vinny Pacifico. I'm trying to think of like those are the only two matches I have set so far. But go to coastalchampionshipwrestling.com. Like we have like shows every weekend. Like there's multiple weekends anywhere, like Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Nashville. Last Territory covers a lot of territory.
There you go. Well, Eddie, my king, the CCW heavyweight champion, and of course, the sexiest man alive. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule of ruling over the professional wrestling world and coming on to Tone In Entertainment tonight.
Thank you, Tony. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely. And guys, if you haven't already, please follow Eddie Valentine, follow CCW, and hit that red subscribe button so you can stay tuned in here to Tone In Entertainment. Hold on. We got one more comment. Moshpit Messiah says, thanks for the interview. He's thanking you, Eddie, of course, for the interview because you are the guest of honor. And make sure you hit that red subscribe button so you can stay tuned in here to Tone In Entertainment for future videos.
Subscribe to the channel. Do it. Go now. Do it now.